Hello and welcome to the Bearded Bible. We're going to be pulling together a couple of days here. I missed a couple of days in part because I covered in one day what the YouVersion New Testament in a Year Bible plan covers in 2 days. So there's going to be a few days that we step off because I like hitting one chapter per recording. So you'll kind of notice that. So we're going to release 7 and 8 today. And then we will cover chapter 9 and we'll be back on pace with the YouVersion Bible reading plan today. Matthew 7 with some great leadership callouts from John Maxwell at the end, so stick with us. Let's jump right in. Judging others. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and then turn and tear you to pieces. Ask, seek, knock. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be open. Which of you, if your son asked for bread, would give him a stone? Or if he asked for a fish, you would give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. The narrow and wide gates. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. True and false prophets. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorny bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruit, you will recognize them. True and false disciples. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? And in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. The wise and foolish builders. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, and the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it had a foundation on a rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rains came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowd were amazed at his teachings, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law. That's so good. So good. So much amazing advice in that you could probably just look at your calendar for the week and all the conversations you need to have with employees, customers, vendors, and look at where some of that leadership could lead. But let's just take this John Maxwell call out here. And this really takes us from the beginning of chapter 6 in Matthew through to the end of 7 where we just were. The first task of a leader is to define core values. In the first sermon recorded in his gospel, Matthew spotlights Jesus' major emphasis on values. Jesus knew his first task was to provide a set of core values for his men. Note Jesus' list of core values. Number 1 is do the right thing for the right reasons, referencing 6:1-8. Pray God's agenda, not your own. That's 6:9-13. Relationships will make or break you. That's 6:14-15. Prioritize eternal things, not temporal things. That's 6:19 through 24. Don't sweat the small stuff, 6:25 through 34. God's kingdom is paramount. Seek it first is number 6. That's 6:32 through 33. Number 7 is judge yourself before you judge others. Oh, so key. And that's 7:1 through 6. If you need something, ask. If you have something, give it. That's chapter 7, 7 through 12. Stay true to your convictions. Don't wander from the narrow path. That's 7:13 through 20. And number 10, obedience to God is the only sure foundation for life. 7:21 through 27. If you're still not convinced that Jesus gives a list of core values here, look at Matthew 7:12, where he summarizes the law in a single statement. That's where we're going to end today, is 7:12. We're just going to read it again. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you're doing good on getting through the New Testament in a year. We're here for you, encouraging you. Don't hesitate to comment below on what you most got out of this episode. Like, subscribe, share it with somebody else. Use these leadership callouts as something meaningful to share biblical truth maybe with somebody else who isn't going to church with you, who isn't reading the Bible, that these might give them some insights that the Bible has powerful words that can unlock things for us in this world. With that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you here tomorrow.